I'm Sarah Kuhn. I write a blog called INFJ Woman, and I host a podcast called The Quiet Ones. I'm on a mission to help you become the best version of yourself, to be wholly and unapologetically you, to be you. Every week on my Instagram stories, I take questions about INFJs or self-acceptance, self-love, anything that you want to ask me a question about. In this video, you're going to see a collection of random questions that are the best ones from this week. If you have a question that you'd like to ask me, you can submit it through the comments below this video, and I will answer it in a future video and link the video back to you so that you can see it. I do sell physical copies of my book, just like this. You can swipe up to get your copy. When I get overwhelmed, I usually take a break. I take a break from social media, from work, from television, whatever it is that's making me feel overwhelmed. I like to go for walks outside or spend time in self-care, a hot bath, food that I like, whatever. The best job is whatever your purpose is. Your purpose comes from your pain, so think about the biggest emotional pain that you've had in your life and how did you overcome that? That's the best job. You should be helping other people overcome that. That's where you're going to find the most fulfillment in your life. Just like the last one, the most fulfillment that you're going to find, the best career path for an INFJ is to figure out what your purpose is. And again, your purpose comes from your pain. So once you figure that out, you'll be set for life. I have a great resource too to help you find your purpose. It's free, so all you have to do is swipe up to get a copy of it, and it will help you. There's a couple of exercises that will help you figure out exactly what your purpose is, and I guarantee you that will be the best career. Yes, I think it's normal to feel guilty after door slamming somebody, but you always have to remember and focus on why you got rid of them. There was a reason. There was a good reason, and you should never feel guilty for putting yourself first. Yes, I dream about my romantic life all of the time. This is one of the things that I don't like to talk about because it's extremely personal, but I would love to hear you guys if you do the same thing, and if you don't want it public, you can DM me. Thanks for the love. I appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of you guys for showing up and following me and supporting me. It means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to try to keep it up. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for the love. I struggle with an anxiety disorder as well. So there's so many things that you can do though. One of the biggest things is to face your fear head on. Think about, is it really going to kill you? What you want to do? Probably not. Overthinking is actually a form of fear. So you have to ask yourself, what are you afraid of? And then ask yourself what would happen if you weren't afraid of it? What could be possible if you weren't afraid of it? I hope that helps. There's a lot more that goes into relationships than personality types though, and a lot of it has to do with hard work and maturity as well. The best thing that you can do is start with empathy and understanding and try to see their point of view and where they're coming from. If you want to learn more about the INFJ personality type, make sure that you sign up for my weekly email newsletter. There's a link for it in the video description. Thank you. I appreciate all the love. It makes me feel so good. Great way to start my Thursday morning. Thank you so much. You can get a copy of my book on my website, infjwoman.com, or you can just swipe up and that'll take you right to the store. What's the difference between an INFJ and an INFP? An INFJ is more decisive, more organized. An INFP is more spontaneous, more go with the flow, and usually a little bit messier. They like to keep things open. I'm so sorry that you're feeling this way. I've felt this way before, and the best thing that I can tell you is to look for inspiration from other people who have been through the same thing. I would start with YouTube. Evan Carmichael has some amazing videos of inspiration of all kinds of different people. Do I think there's some INFJs who dislike themselves? Yes, I think there are quite a few. I know that I was in that position for a long time. It took me years and years and years to learn what self-love is, but once I did, it makes a huge difference. I don't think it makes us look bad. I think that INFJs just put a name on what a lot of other people do. You call it a door slam, most people call it setting boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with setting boundaries. In fact, we as INFJs should do it more often. I don't know if I cry often. I don't really like crying. I think that there's a misconception that because INFJs have a feeling personality that we're extremely emotional, and we are emotional, but it's usually on the inside more so than on the outside. What advice do I have for living a meaningful life? Your purpose comes from your pain. So you have to think about the most emotionally painful thing that you've ever been through in your life. How did you get through it? Because you can help other people who are going through the same thing. That should be your purpose, regardless of what's going on. You really have to understand that other people can only understand you to their level of understanding. So if they're willing and open to understand you, then they have the ability to, but if they're not, there's nothing that you can say that's going to make them understand you. Tips for a job interview: be yourself, be real, be honest. Because if you're not, if you just put on a good front, then you're not going to like the job. They're going to end up not liking you. So be yourself, be honest, ask for what you really want. I feel like I'll never find a true best friend or someone I can be 100% myself with. The feeling is normal, but I promise you there are people out there that will appreciate you for who you are. I found my best friends through things that I like my blog and the band that I like. I know it sounds really, really, really scary, but I encourage you, if you're having trouble finding friends, to do something that you really like and really enjoy. My mom used to give me this advice when I was young, and the first thing that I would say to her is, "That's so stupid. That would never work." And then I realized that just a few years ago, I started going to concerts, from New Kids on the Block concerts. And every time I went, I would meet somebody that I became friends with. And now some of the best friends that I have came through those concerts. Another big thing that I found friends through is my blog. So it is possible. You just have to find something that you really, really like, and then you'll find other people through that hobby or whatever it is that you're doing that like the same thing, and then you'll have a reason to become friends. I've been where you're at, and I'm telling you, the best thing that you can do is to keep going, to focus on something positive, find something that inspires you, find something that helps you feel better. I love YouTube videos. I love Evan Carmichael. I think you should check him out. The eyes ever lie? I think sometimes they can if you're really, really well trained, but a lot of times they don't. That's usually where you can tell if somebody is faking it or not. Are there any INFJs that you know that are happily married? Yes, there are several. One of my best friends is married to an INFP. In fact, I think I know 2 INFJs that are married to INFPs. So yes, it is possible. Makes me nervous? A lot of things make me nervous. Talking to new people, being on video, a lot of things like that. But I'm trying to move past fear, to recognize that it is just fear and let go of it. Do I think that INFJs shouldn't be friends because they're incompatible? No, I don't believe that at all. I have several INFJ friends that I'm really good friends with, and we get along really, really well. So maybe it's just the one person that you had a bad experience with. Do INFJs love chaos in life? No, I don't like chaos at all. I like things organized and peaceful. Yeah, chaos is usually pretty difficult for me to handle. Although I'm usually pretty calm, I don't like it. The most compatible person, everybody has different ideas about this. I wrote an article that I put a link for here in the story. You can just swipe up. I happen to think it's an INFP, but that's just my opinion. What's up? So much these days. I'm kind of focused a lot on YouTube now. I have some new YouTube videos coming out that I'm super excited about it. So make sure you go check it out if you haven't. How am I today? I'm pretty good today. I slept really well last night. I did this trick that sounds really weird, but you put wet socks on your feet and then you put regular socks on top of them, and somehow it helps you sleep really well. Indecision usually comes from fear. So if you're having trouble making a decision, think about why you're afraid of it. You probably already know what you want to do. You're probably just afraid that you're going to fail or that it's not going to work out, or you're afraid that you might actually... Are INFJs more likely to have mental illness such as depression? I don't know if we're more likely. I think that everybody deals with depression at some point in their lives, although some of us have it worse than others. I know that I've spoken to a lot of INFJs who do, so you're definitely not alone if you do. How do you make little decisions with your head and big decisions with your heart? That always works. The best things about INFJs, for me, I love our intuition. I like being able to sort of predict the future and being able to read people. That's one of my favorite things, at least. What other personality type do we get along with best? We can get along with any other personality types. I tend to favor people with intuitive and feeling personality types, although I do have some friends who have a thinking personality too. It really just depends on how mature they are, though. How do you cope after a door slam? Every time you start to feel guilty, think about the reasons why you door slam somebody, and then focus forward. You have all of this new time now. What can you do now? How can you help somebody else? That's what you should be focused on. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you check out these other amazing videos that I have that are all about INFJs, INFJ traits, the INFJ personality, everything that you want to know about INFJs. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well so that you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching again, and we will see you again soon.